Hello. So today we're going to be doing something a little unusual. I'm going to play Metroid Fusion while ranting about my personal opinion on Jaiden animations and the story time animators. Keep in mind that this opinion is, to a degree, rather negative, so I, I want to warn you that you may be mildly triggered by my ranting about how, oh, this content creator, I don't like their content, so I'm gonna hypocritically analyze their content. So, in regards to both J Animations and Becca Param, also known as Explain Studios, and Dream, sorry, alright to all the stands and fans, but I do not like these content creators, and I'm gonna trash talk them. So, let's start with Dream, actually. And a significant thing about Dream is not Dream's content. As a matter of fact, Dream's content is kind of unimportant, shall we say. Like, I don't think that people really. What people really talk about is the quote unquote the Dream controversy. Let me try bombing this wall. Nope, nothing there. So, what people mean when they say the Dream controversy is basically they mean the fact that they cheat on a speedrun. Now, as mentioned repeatedly by various people, the fact that Dream cheat on a speedrun is not actually that important, as it turns out. In fact, it is so lacking importance that I think that they increase the spawn rate after you've visited the save room so that to discourage you from exploring this area too much. Ahem, so what was I thinking? So, so basically, the thing is that Dream recently released a hit single called Mask, where he yammered about how, oh, well, I have ADHD, so, and I'm like, dude, that does not matter. Or that doesn't matter in regards to the quote unquote, the Dream controversy. Now, to quote Marx, because it's basically just sincere marketing. It's just basically just a surreal marketing ploy. Like, I don't think that it's really marketing ploy. Like, I don't think that the fact that Dream cheat on a speedrun is that significant. As I said, I think Dream's content is kind of just mediocre. Like, it's not notably good or bad compared to, say, Donkey and Video Game Donkey and Jacob Geller and Eurofug 4000. But again, here's the thing. People basically are going through a sort of moralistic crisis in regards to Dream's likely faked speedrun, because they believe that it is a moral judgment about them if Dream cheat on a speedrun. In other words, the potential immorality or morality of Dream's actions is meaningful to them. It is meaningful because they were openly fans of Dream, so in the Dream before. So him having done something morally wrong means he needs to defend their own honor, their own moral integrity by defending that of Dreams. Which again, because they take it personally. Again, it's basically because they're taking it personally, even though they don't actually need to. And then Dream released his hit single Mask, which is basically about the fact that he coincidentally happens to have ADHD. Now, I'm not going to question whether or not he quote unquote really has ADHD. I'm instead more interested in the fact that he's bringing this up to shield himself from criticism. Like, that's basically it. I mean, again, Dream has gone through enough to atone for his sins, to put it rather dramatically. Like, Italy. And like, people have sent in death threats. People have compared him to Hitler, so on and so forth. I don't think that Dream has not, quote unquote, atoned for his owned for what he's done. But again, and that's the thing, though. Dream is now saying that he coincidentally has ADHD. Oh well, big shocker. Join the club. No, like again, that does not have an effect on the morality of your actions. Actions, like actions. But again, that doesn't matter because what matters isn't Dream's actions. What matters is the optics, the quote unquote how is optics. So of course he needs to seem more sympathetic because after all, if he isn't a sympathetic figure, then people won't forgive him. I mean, he's already atoned, so to speak. Like people who are still trashing him are just crazy. They're venting some personal issues that they have. A Dream instead of resolving those issues. Yeah, these require power bombs, and the screw attack I haven't had those yet, so might as well leave. And fun fact, the reason why, do you want to know why those require the power bombs and the screw attack? The answer is for a Shine Spark right here. So, again, this thing is not... accidentally hit tab. So again, this thing is not Dream's actions themselves. It's literally that most people will take it as part of their own moral integrity as to whether or not Dream cheated on a speedrun. And Dream is now, again, utilizing his own mental problems as a way of seeming more sympathetic so that people are more likely to forgive him, which... Dude, don't. I forgave you until the moment you started using your mental problems as a source of clout, as a sort of pseudo-atonement, or atonement. So, yeah. Now again, and now I want to discuss Jaiden Animation's 2018 video. So, quote, why I don't have a face reveal, which this video is a face reveal, so problem with the title alone, but the thing is that, how do I put it? Okay, basically, Jaiden Animations here is hyper dramatizing her the fact that she has anxiety disorder, which, as a way of getting clout. Now, here's a fun fact. A while ago, I used to include on Scratch that I coincidentally happen to be autistic in my Scratch bio. Now, Scratch is a platform designed for 8-year-olds, so thanks with a grain of salt, but basically everyone was like, oh, yeah, let's send him links to support groups. Yeah, woo. And after a while of dozens of people sending links to support groups, this just got nauseating and annoying. It was like, dude, just shut up, okay? So I removed that from my bio, and nothing ever happened really afterwards. The thing is that, again, and I effectively inadvertently utilized the seeming of being part of a minority, not actually being part of a minority, but seeming to be part of a minority, as a way of acquiring clout by exploiting the sympathetic instinct of my audience inadvertently. So seeing someone do that intentionally just seems grotesque and enraging. Like, why would you do this? Why would you twist your personal problems into a source of clout? It doesn't work, you know. It not that it doesn't work, but rather it works too well and it seems wrong. Like, it's not actually morally wrong, but like it's emotionally wrong. Like, it has the aesthetic of wrongness. So again, the problem with these creators is that they're really popular. So you hear about them a lot of the time, like everywhere, and it's just really hard to get out of their grip. Again, I took the drugs and decided to try and actually watch some of the Dreams' content, and big shocker, it's not actually that good. Dreams content is mediocre. Okay, Jaiden content is, again, high in quality, but again, I don't like it. But of course, because Jaiden is so gosh dang popular, I hear about it all the time from like everyone I know. So yeah, I'm just venting at this point. So next up is, of course, Rebecca Parham's Don't Listen to the Demon. Now, this is the best example of what I call, quote unquote, the problem. So basically, how do I put this? Basically, she begins by discussing the cartoon platitude of a quote unquote demon angel imagery, which, you know, like demon on your shoulder, angel on your shoulder, to represent a sort of internal decision making process. And yeah, that's fair. And then she points this as a hypothetical psychological theory that explains people's decision making processes. I disagree with this because my decision making process is way more complicated. The basically it alternates. You know, it varies from moment to moment. What I would describe as quote unquote the demon and the angel. Angel. This is such a frequently alternating concept that it seems absurd to try and point to a binary division of what is the moral voice and the immoral voice. Like, but you know, who cares? So, how did I screw that up? So, again, it's a unnecessarily simplistic understanding of morality that just doesn't work. And basically, she actually is more or less uses this as a pretext to discuss the death of her father, which, you know, I mean, again, if you're going to angstily rant about how your dad died, then just, you know, angstily rant about how your dad died. Don't, like, try and turn this into a psychological theory because, again, psychological theorizing isn't necessary. You don't need to excuse your ranting about something that you're upset about. Now, again, she points out to the fact that basically the demon is the voice in your head that tells you you don't deserve to be loved. I disagree with that understanding in part because of the fact that deservance and love are both human constructs. So it seems absurd to point to the idea that there is a universal idea of universal aspect of that's a universal concept of negative thought. And similarly, negative thinking isn't necessarily bad. No damage. So, like, for example, let's say, I don't know, you're at a friend's house and your friend has kids, or you have kids actually, and I don't know, a toddler dumps out a bag of flour on the floor. And this is just as an example, but I'm in the wrong area, aren't I? Aren't I? So, here's what I mean. So again, so if your reaction is, oh crud, or gosh dang it, yeah, why are children so messy, or something along those lines, that is not a unhealthy or wrong reaction to have. In fact, you're not reacting, hinting, oh crud, seems like it'd be considered a problem in its own right. You catch my drift? Like, again, it's called by many people absence of appropriate effect. The basic idea is that had had if you don't react negatively to negative things like seeing a toddler dump a bag of flour on the floor, then that's a problem. And hell, it can be other things like for other things. But again, my point isn't that it's actually bad for Becca Piram to discuss her dead dad. That's not morally wrong. No, what's wrong is having to excuse yourself. Like that's just wrong. I'm sorry, but it is wrong. Like, how do I put this? Again, it's the same thing. You're exploiting the sympathetic instinct of your audience for clout. Now, like that's all. That's your motive here, right? That's seemingly the only motive you have. Unless you want to argue that you're not. Okay, how do I put this? Like, again, you can and argue that, oh, it's not about clout. But again, you don't need to excuse a discussion if you're dead mad, and you don't need that. Again, the other thing she mentions is that, oh, well, you see, again, there's always something that proves, quote unquote, the demon wrong. And what proves the demon wrong in my case was actually you guys. I'm like, oh, great, nice, convenient timing for talking about how supportive your fan base is. Well, here's the thing, okay? Now, how do I put this? Yeah. Now, not to trash depression or anything, but you didn't have big material problems at the time. You literally just really were just sad about her dad dying, which, again, if you want to discuss that, go ahead, discuss it, please. But don't, like, pretend that this is somehow... Oh, I have not seen this before, what the heck? How do I... Is this like... Is that like some... How do I approach... That's an interesting secret. I'll look into that later. So... Remember this puzzle here? And don't absorb this guy's X parasite. Already don't absorb it, because it goes over here and enables this thing to grow, which lets you do this. See? So anyways, what was I thinking? So, again, Rebecca Pyramid needing to justify herself with a psychological theory doesn't work. Now, doesn't work. Rather, it's not needed. So why does she do it? Well, I think basically it's to justify to her audience that this is meaningful content, right? But like, dude, if you want to angstily rant, just angstily rant, right? There's no need to justify the existence of your content. Interesting. This guy's immune to shock rockets and the freezing effect. So how... So what was I thinking? So I, I've already done a recording of the gameplay that's about to ensue, so I'm just gonna point out the incongruity that there is a super missile tank that there's a missile tank that I acquired, or rocket back, whatever, that I acquired in this recording that I didn't require in the other run. So I'm gonna leave out. So I'm not gonna post the recordings of the gameplay that I've just shown you because again, that would be superfluous. But I'm gonna point out that I've got to. So I'm gonna point out the fact that how do I put this? Uh, Let me think. Again, none of this justification is necessary. If you want to rant, just rant. So, Dream J animations and interesting, another power bomb thing. Oh well. Oh no, cliffhanger. Well, how long is this video? Yeah, this is 22 minutes of ranting and raving. So, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to end on a cliffhanger here. Okay, so in the next video, there's gonna be a bit of a divergence. I'll have one fewer missile tanks, basically, but I'll go back to Sector 6 to fetch that missile tank I missed. So just, wait, can I just... Oh, wait, no, I can't. Oh, well. So, yeah, how do I put this? So basically, I think the problem is that people are exploiting the sympathetic instincts of their audience by telling them their sob stories. And I just don't get that. Like, again, and you should sound fairly detached. You can discuss your personal problems, but, like, how do I put this? I don't know. Uh, pull yourself together before you discuss racist discussion or whatever. So, yeah, I kind of want to keep recording just because, but come on, this video is like 20 minutes long. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to listen to me rant for longer, so bye.